everybody. Haven't shot a video in a really long time. Life's taken over quite a bit, but recently I've had to take a few minutes and try to take a break. So I wanted to get back to try to doing some videos on the ISF to try to share with everybody and help out as much as I can. You know, we ISF owners are a tight-knit group. We like to help each other out to maintain and take care of our cars since we only have what's left on the world. So today we'll be doing a video. I'm doing a video on how to do something that a lot of people have asked me for over the last couple months. It's very simple. Anybody can do it. Even if you're not mechanically inclined, I will do step-by-step to help you get through it. It's very simple. So today we're going to be doing a mass airflow sensor cleaning and a throttle body cleaning. It takes about an hour for the most from start to finish. I will do it quicker through the video, obviously, but will cover all models of ISF from 09 to 14. It's very simple. Our cars are very easy to work on when you look at them. As a lot of people have said online, is that it's basically a V8 Camry, and that's a good description of it. It is a V8 Camry. So let's get into it. I'll show you the parts and the cleaners that you need, and we'll go ahead and do it. So off we go. Okay, so let's take a look at the simple tools and some of the cleaners that we need to do this. It's really not a lot. So you want to start off with some clean shop rags. That'll help clean up the throttle body as we get into it. You're going to need a pair of some pliers, pump pliers, regular pliers, needle nose if you want. That'll actually help us to get these clips off here, these two. You're going to want a Phillips head screwdriver, a standard size, nothing crazy if you don't have a socket set. So you can do this without a socket set. And the reason why you would need a Phillips is to looking into the inlet here, you have this one 10mm nut that you want to take off, or it's actually a banjo band. You want to take this off. This is a 10mm, or it's also a Phillips head. You have one in here, and looking way down in there, a little silver one, you got one down in there. So if you don't have sockets, you can do it with a Phillips head screwdriver. You need a really small Phillips head screwdriver also. The reason why is the MAF air sensor, this right here, has a teeny tiny little screw, and we'll get into it. It's on the side where you see the silver. That has to be unscrewed to take it out to clean it, or you can clean it in the pipe if you don't want to take it out. I like to take it out to get it out, let it dry while we're working on the throttle body. So real tools you need is Phillips head, a standard size and a small one, a pair of pliers, and the most important part. This is the part that you have to not mess up. So you can get this at Walmart, you can get this at a car parts store, you can get this on Amazon, you can get this just about anywhere. CRC is the brand name. I'm sure there's all different brands out there. I like these two. They usually come in together as a kit. So it is mass airflow sensor cleaner. You want to make sure when you're cleaning your mass airflow sensor to use only the kind that is meant for it. Don't use brake cleaner, don't use throttle body cleaner, don't use anything other than mass airflow sensor cleaner. It's very sensitive. You use the wrong stuff, you will ruin it, and you'll be buying a new one that's going to cost probably $100 for our cars. I've seen them maybe 80, 90, but I've seen for the most part they're $100. I don't even know what the dealer is. Throttle body cleaner. I go through that quicker than I go through the mass airflow sensor cleaner. This is probably my second bottle, where that's probably the first. So yeah, you can get this just about anywhere. Again, on Amazon, car parts store, Walmart. I buy most of my stuff at Walmart. The price is usually a couple bucks cheaper than the local auto parts store. So this will be for the throttle body, and so we'll get into it. That's really it. This is the most expensive part. It's $20, I think, for the kit if you buy the two. Separate, they're probably $8 or $9 a piece. So really, you need pliers, screwdrivers, cleaner, and some rags. And if you want to use a socket, sockets will take off those 10mm nuts. So that's it. It'll be really quick. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so real simple. Let's start off. This is what the car looks like when you first open the hood. Nothing, I haven't moved anything, haven't changed anything. So you have to take this off to get to the throttle body. If you haven't ever taken this off in your car, shame on you, but not hard. There's 4 little pins that just little click in place. You just kind of grab underneath, lift up gently. You'll hear them ping, reach behind, pop the back corners, and then lift straight up, and then off it comes. So there's that. Okay, so now that we're in the engine, and pardon the dirt, I haven't had a chance to do any detailing on my car. You can see it's starting to collect. So now that we're in the engine, really what you're trying to get to is the mass airflow sensor, which is here, and the throttle body, which is here. You can see this is your inlet pipe. All the air comes into the car, runs down through the runner, goes through the air box, runs past the mass airflow sensor down into the throttle body. And where you can get down the throttle body can get dirty is you can actually have blow-by that comes through these two tubes. These are part of the crankcase ventilation system. What typically happens is if you drive hard, you can get oil that travels from the engine into this intake tube. So what a lot of people do is they put air oil water separators. RR Racing makes a very good one. I've actually been thinking about getting one. I am a purist though. I usually run everything stock. The only thing that's different on this engine is I have a K&N air filter and that's it. Otherwise, this car is original from the day it was rolled off the factory floor. I've been thinking about getting one to help protect the engine a little bit. I'm just trying to decide. It's a daily driver, so I don't think I need it, but it could never hurt. So you can get oil ingested into the throttle body and the throttle body can get very dirty. That's why you'd probably want to put an air oil separator in this. But cleaning your throttle body will help it too, and that's what we're gonna do today. So real simple, once you get started is, what you wanna do is open up the air box by pulling up these two clips. And a lot of times I've seen a lot of guys online, these clips sometimes pop out and break here. So you wanna try to be gentle with it, don't go crazy. The one thing you're gonna find is we're gonna have to loosen up these bolts to be able to get the whole thing apart. So just opening these up to get you going. Then you can either take your 10mm socket, or you can use your Phillips screwdriver. No, I'm going to use my socket just to get started to loosen up this clamp. This is a clamp that's actually holding the air box to the inlet tube. And you just want to loosen it up, and then as you turn it, it's actually opening the clamp to let it loosen up and let it go. So again, same thing. You can either use a socket or your Phillips screwdriver. Just put your finger on it and rotate it till it loosens up. Whatever you have to work with, something easy. So you can see this is nice and loose, slides back and forth. So the other thing we'll do is we're gonna pull these two back, these two inlets in. Very simple, a pair of pliers, squeeze together, pull it back so it's off of the tube, the plastic tube. Same thing on this side, pull that off. And now you've got those off. One tool I forgot. So one tool I did forget to tell you about, you don't need this. I mean, it's to take these tubes here off. You could use a flathead screwdriver, you could grab it and pull it and just pull it off. This is a pick. You can get these, I mean, mine's a Craftsman. I've had this for years. I don't know where I got it. I probably got it at Sears, back when Sears actually sold good tools. So this is a simple pick. It's just, I get it into underneath the rubber hose, between the rubber hose and the plastic inlet tube, and I just kind of move it around to try to loosen it up, because a lot of times it will bind, and then at that point you can grab it and it slides right off. You can use a flathead screwdriver, you can use your hand and just grab and pull. I just find that with rubber hoses, they have a tendency to stick over time. They actually kind of melt themselves to the inlet. So just loosening it up will help guarantee that you don't wreck your hose. Now, I don't know if you could see this. The edge of this actually is really a lot of oil, which every time I take this apart and I see that oil, I keep saying to myself, RR Racing, here I come, I need to buy this. So I'm sure when we get inside, we'll see how oily it is. But yeah, you can see it's ingesting some, losing it. So once you get that out of the way, you pull those out, you can see there's your other 10mm clamp that's holding on the inlet. Again, this time I'll go ahead and use the Phillips. Don't have to use the socket. Real simple, get in the middle of the screw and just loosen up the band. As you see, once it comes loose, there's actually a little pin here, a little plastic pin that's on the housing that's holding the band in place. So it really only goes on one way. You just want to loosen it enough, not till it comes all the way apart, just enough to kind of, you can see it's loose. So that'll let the whole inlet come out. So now that you've got it loosened here, you've got the air box open and this is loose. Really what you want to do is you want to open this end first. Take it off of the throttle body. So it's just pushing up and down and pulling. So you're kind of wiggling it and pulling out at the same time. And you'll see there's a notch right at the top here, little notch that's in the throttle body, and there's a notch in the plastic air tube that they mesh up. So you can see you're putting it in the right way. You just wiggle up and down and pull, and you'll see it popped off. So now you've got this disconnected. You're going to go to the middle here, and you're going to want to basically grab that and just wiggle that. There you go. First part off. And again, if you look down inside, you can't see, maybe you can. These two tubes are very wet. There's a lot of oil in here that's inside. So again, and you just see a leaf just fell out. So we'll get into it and see how dirty the throttle body is. You can start to see the brass plate on the throttle body. So let's go ahead and open up this. MAF airflow sensor. You can't take the air box off while it's still wired up. You basically, this is a simple squeeze and pull, like all the Toyota connectors, a squeeze and pull. At the top, let's get closer in on it. All right, so here we are close up. This is the MAF sensor. So if you look down here, there is a simple squeeze and pull clip. There's this top little pin right there. What you want to do is you want to squeeze it and pull the sensor up. Squeeze it and pull up. And this is one of the things I'm always worried about. Toyota clips over time get brittle. You don't want to break them. And this is really not a one-handed job, especially with the airbox flopping around. There you go, squeezed and pulled, and then it just comes right off. Now you can also see right here, it's connected to the airbox. So if you get down inside, this little clip here is what's, well, excuse me, it's over here. It's holding you in place. It's right inside here. See that little clip? You gotta squeeze that with a pair of needle nose pliers. So another tool you need, needle nose pliers to get this out. Okay. Here I have my needle nose pliers. What we're going to do is, I'm going to try this one-handed. You basically just have to get in here and squeeze this connector and to get it to release. I've done this a bunch of times over the years. I think I'm going to try to, there we go, right on it. Okay, let's see if I can hold it. There we go. All right, so you can see it there. That's what we're going for right there. That you can see it's pretty beat up. It's because I've been taking it in and out over the years. So really, it's reaching in, squeezing it, and having it come out. And that's, as you see, there you go. It's just starting to pop out. And that's it. I've managed to wiggle it. Sorry for the poor camera work, but it's hard to do with one hand. Okay, so now that we've got the wire off to the side for the MAF air sensor, there's the clip. The air box is basically loose. It's really just grabbing this side of it and just pulling straight up and out. And there's your air box, totally released. So now, you can see your air filter here, throttle body's here. The MAF air sensor is actually sitting on the air box. There it is, right there. That's your MAF airflow sensor. You can see it down inside there. So that's what we're gonna be cleaning. Now, you could clean it on here. I like to take it out. You can see there's two little Phillips head screws on either side. We'll take that off and we'll give it a cleaning. Usually I do the MAF sensor cleaning first, and that gives you time because it's got to dry for about 15 minutes before you put it back in and use it. This way we can go ahead and work on cleaning the throttle body. So let's go ahead and take this apart and get it cleaned. Okay, so real simple. Two Phillips screwdrivers, Phillips head screws, MAF sensor right here. So what you want to do is just very gently, do not strip these. Just take them out. Right, real simple. And then the second one. Don't want to strip these screws. I guess you could get them at the dealer if you had to replace them. All right, once you have got those out, it's real simple. It's holding the air box, grabbing the MAF sensor, just give it a little wiggle and it pops out. You can see there is the sensor. It's got a little O-ring on it, which is why you kind of give it a pull. You can see even in here, there's a little bit of some yuck. But what we're looking to clean, if you look down inside here, you can see there's a little band of metal there. And actually down inside here too, there's also, these are the sensors, the little metal strips that are sensors. You only want to use the MAF air sensor cleaner on this, nothing else. So let's go ahead and get it and give it a spray. Okay, so we've got our MAF airflow sensor cleaner. Just go ahead and get in there, give it a good cleaning, spray it down inside. There's actually a little metal on the back too. There, you want to make sure that's cleaned. Now, I recommend when you're using the cleaner, try to wear good rubber gloves. These are actually Home Depot HDX gloves you can get in the paint department. 40 for, I think it was $9. These are the 2 layers. They have orange and black on the inside. These are the best gloves I've ever found. They're better than any of the Gorilla Grips or anything else. So whatever you need, just keep your hands protected. So just give it a good cleaning. Make sure you get all the dirt off of it till it's nice and shiny. Give it a good spray. You don't have to go too crazy. Okay, so now that you've got that sprayed, what you want to do is you want to set this aside for about 15 minutes to let it dry. You don't want to go crazy with it. You just want it to let it dry. Don't ever touch the metal. Don't touch it with your fingers. Don't touch it with any tools. Just spray it with the cleaner. So once you've sprayed it, just set it off to the side so it's out of the way, and you can go ahead and keep working on the throttle body. So let's go ahead and get on to the next step. While the mass airflow sensor is drying off to the side, we're going to go ahead and do the throttle body and use the throttle body air intake cleaner and some clean rags. Make sure you use good clean rags. You don't want to have something that's dirt or grit or anything on it, because you'll be introducing it into the intake of your system. So looking at the throttle body, on the outside it looks really, really clean. Nice, clean, brassy looking throttle body, but as you can use your finger to just gently push the top of it and open it up. Okay, so I want to give you a good shot inside. All right, so getting down inside, you can see that there's a lot of buildup in there. You can see on the back of the plate's pretty clean. The edges of the plate are clean. There's a little bit of black along the bottom of the throttle body. Down in here, you can see that. And even down inside, you can see there's a little bit beyond it. Really what you're looking to do is get the dirt off the edge of where the throttle plate is, both bottom and top. Even up top, you can see there's some up there. So what you want to do is you want to use a throttle body cleaner with a rag. If for some reason there is it's a real stubborn buildup, you can do a very soft bristle brush, like a toothbrush. Don't use anything stronger, don't use metal, just something simple and easy to clean off all this little bit of carbon in the back of the throttle body plate. Again, you can see some on the edge here, some of the black right there. So it's a little dirty. It's been a year, so we'll go ahead and get it sprayed off and cleaned off and get it all ready for a nice spring drive. All right, so now we're gonna come in with our cleaner. I'm going to open up the throttle plate, and this is, again, definitely a two-handed job, one to hold and one to spray. So, real simple. Just get in there, and so just trying to get the throttle body cleaner in there to do the job. And this can seems like it's just about done, of course, just as I'm doing this video. As I said, I usually go through 2 cans of the throttle body for every 1 can of the mass airflow sensor. So then what you do is, once you get it down inside, you want to take your clean rag and just get inside there and try to wipe out. You can see what I got on it just from that first quick wipe. And you're just really trying to get all the carbon and oil and build up off of it as best you can. Again, you're trying to do both the bottom and the top. So here I am, you can see what I just pulled from the top. And that's just the first quick wipe. And I probably didn't get a lot of cleaner up there because I'm running low. But you can see, even just from wiping it down, you can get quite a bit of buildup off. And I'm going down inside the throttle body. And you can see it's getting better. You want to try to go as far as you can. Just use your fingers. Don't use any tools. There you go. See that? That's the kind of stuff that just does a little bit of, not damage, but kind of slows down the airflow, slows down the throttle plate. Just really helps the air travel better when it's cleaned off. I'm going to throw a little more in there. You can see how much I've gotten off. It's getting cleaner. I can see it in there. I'll show you in a second when I'm done wiping it all down. So spray a little more, just trying to make sure I get out everything, since, you know, that's what the point of this is. And you just see all I'm doing is just putting on the end of my finger and moving the rag in and out inside. And I'm still getting some down in the back, but nothing tremendously bad. I mean, again, I do this once every spring, and sometimes I'll do it in the fall, depending on how hard I've driven. I don't track the car. I haven't done it yet. I've been thinking about it, but I just, again, as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm a purist. Nothing wrong with tracking. I love the guys that track it. They show me all the videos that they do. The guys that get them on the street and race them, love it. For me, I think I want to just kind of take it easy on the car. I still have fun with it though. Okay, So I think I've gotten out about as much as I can. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look down inside and see how it looks. So you can see I got all the black carbon buildup that was on the bottom off. I got off the edge of the plate. It's pretty clean. I got most of it. Back of the plate looks really good. And top of the throttle bodies looking pretty good too. Another good use for your phone is when you can't get down inside, you can take a picture of it and take a peek. So overall, it looks pretty good, very clean, and that's what you're looking for. You just want to be able to just get it clean as much as you can. If you got a lot of buildup in there, that will kind of modify the airflow, how it's going into the intake. So that's what you're looking for, is just to get all of the black buildup off the back of the plate, the front of the plate, the edges of the plate, and then in the throttle body itself. So that's good to go. So that's what you're shooting for. Let's go ahead and put everything back together. Okay, so now that we've cleaned the throttle body, let's start putting everything back together. So really everything goes back in reverse order that we took it out. So if you remember correctly, we've got to put the MAF air sensor back into the intake box, put the intake box in, put the runner tube in, put the elbow in, snap it all together, tighten it all up, and we're all done. So let's first do the MAF airflow sensor back into the air box. So the MAF airflow sensor has been sitting off to the side about 15 minutes. All nice and clean. You can see the nice shiny metal parts. Down inside it's kind of hard to see, but remember when you put it back in, it only goes in one way. So this is the air box. Obviously, this is the hole it goes in. This is the top of the air box. It sits this way. So if you try to put it in, you'll see these two tabs have to line up perfectly with the two points to be screwed into. You can only get it in one way. So it should be idiot proof, just saying. So real simple, put it in one way, line up the screws, and gently put them in. Don't go crazy. You don't want to sock this down too tight and strip the plastic. You just want to hold it snugly in place. Remember, there's an O-ring in there, and the O-ring will really keep anything from getting into it. But you do want to make sure it's pushed in. So give it a good push, like I just did. As I did, it kind of clicked. You'll feel it click as it goes in all the way. The screws are just supposed to really kind of keep it in place. And so you're just snugging them down tight so they don't back out and fall into the engine or down out into the street. So that's it. It's in. All done. Let's put it back in the car. So here we are back at the car. As I said, there's an up and a down. Here's your mass airflow sensor. It's in the back. The top of this, you'll see there are 2 pins in the bottom of the air box. Those are going to drop down and fit into, there's 2 pins down below that you want it to slide into. So as you see, as you close it, as it drops into the 2 in the bottom, you'll see that these will all line up here and here. And as you just kind of push it closed, everything looks like it will snug up tight, but you don't want to clip it yet. You want to keep this a little bit loose. So now from here, we're going to go ahead and put in this little clip that we popped out with the Newbie pliers back in the hole. You heard it click. And then the mass airflow sensor connector goes one way, you heard it click. Press down and click it in place. That's ready to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and connect the cross pipe and the elbow and tighten everything down. So as I go through this, if you remember earlier, I was talking about the 2 inlet pipes that actually kind of pull oil in from the engine for the crankcase, positive crankcase ventilation PVC system. I'm going to clean it out. You can see that I've sprayed a little WD-40 down inside this tube, and I'm just taking a rag and gently, again, not forcing anything, breaking anything, forcing a rag down in here just to kind of clean it a little bit. I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to. I have a tendency to be a clean freak. I know that. My family knows that. But you can see I've actually got some WD-40. Hopefully you can see in there. You can see it's sort of wet and it's dripping out. That's trying to get some of the oil out of it. Again, you could get yourself an RR Racing air oil intake separator. I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking, you know, just the problem that I have is that I believe you have to cut your existing lines. And again, being a purist that I am, don't know if I want to do that. But you don't want to use anything too strong on this because it is plastic. So carb cleaner, throttle body cleaner, you might be a little strong. It might actually melt the plastic. So just using some WD-40 just to soften up the oil that's in here. Give it a cleaning. Look down inside. Look in both ends. See if there's anything in there, any foreign objects or anything that you need to clean out of it. Take your time if you want. Make sure it's clean. So just take your time. Make sure the car looks good before you continue on. Okay. So once you've cleaned out the pipe, you got it to your satisfaction. What you're going to do is you're basically going to put this back again, like we said, in reverse. It obviously only goes in one way. This goes in just like this. So what you want to do is just lay it in place, connect this portion, the straight portion, back to the air box first. Because again, we did it in reverse. And you'll see on the air box, there's actually a little tab here. That's as far as you have to push this piece in. Sometimes it's easier to turn this up and just wiggle it in place till it touches the edge of the tab, and then rotate it around. And now you're going to get this back onto the throttle body. So all it is just sliding it over. You see, we talked about there's a little tab right here, and there's a tab inside the plastic air tube that line up. Once they line up, you'll see they slide together, and that's it. It's back in place. So now all it really comes is tightening up these two 10mm, putting on the hoses. So we'll tighten that one back up. I'm going to use a Phillips. This won't slide around because of the pin that's right here, but you can just put your fingers on it to make sure. Just snug it up. Again, you can use a 10mm, or I can use a Phillips screwdriver, whatever you prefer. I'm using this just to show you don't have to have sockets to do this job. And then back over here, this one has a tendency to ride around a little bit. So what you want to do is kind of line it up. You'll see there's grooves in the plastic where the banjo bolt has been for a long time. So you want to line them up so they're roughly back where it was. And just hold it in place with your fingers while you're tightening it. And again, make sure that the tube is top and bottom all the way on to the air box. And make sure your air box is lined up too. It might have popped out as you're moving things around. So again, snug it up. Doesn't have to be crazy. There you go. It's in place. Close up your air box by just pulling the two tabs in place. Air box is closed. Next is to put the tubes back in place. And that's that. Now, don't forget, you got to take your pliers, squeeze these clips, just rotate them back down in place so that they hold them where they're supposed to be. And there you go. And that's it. You have went ahead and cleaned your mass airflow sensor and throttle body. Again, once a year, maybe give it a good shot. We'll go ahead and start it up and see how it sounds. So for the final step, we're going to put the cover back on. Again, F goes forward. You'll see there's 4 little balls. 1, 2, 3, 4 that everything mounts on. Hard to see, but the easy way to do this is really line up the oil fill, obviously the F on top of the cutouts, and you'll feel that it kind of automatically rests on it. Just push down in the corners where the balls are, and you'll hear them click. And that's it. So there you go. Now you've done a very simple throttle body and MAF air sensor cleaning. Really something you can do. You buy those cans. Those cans will last you probably 3, 4, 5 cleanings, and it cost you 20 bucks, and you didn't have to take it to the dealer and pay them ridiculous money to do that. So that's it. We're done. That's something you could probably do easily in 15, 20 minutes. It's a very simple cleaning that you do once a year. Definitely helps your miles per gallon a little bit, and it just keeps the car running right. So hope that helped. Hope that was something that maybe if you were worried about doing it, something you didn't think you could, it really is one of the easiest things you can do. It's just like changing your air filter. Very simple. So hope that helped everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Press the button up in the corner, hit the bell, hit the like, please. I am going to try to make more content. I'm thinking about changing the plugs out and showing you how to do that. I think people would probably want to see that. I've already done my 60,000 mile tune-up, and I'm only at 72,000, so to do the differential is going to be something that I don't know if I want to do again. I might do it in a little while, but I am going to do, you know, I have a major trans service on my channel. I'm thinking about doing a minor channel. I've got to do take a little fluid out just to kind of clean it. So I probably will do that. A minor is very easy compared to the major, which you've seen. If there's anything else you want to see, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.